story that we got for you here at BBC Three Counties Radio. Have you heard of Poetry Together? It's a national initiative spearheaded by Gyles Brandreth, and it aims to bring communities together through their poetry. Now, Deborah Knight is a poetry champion for the project and has organised several poetry events starting next week, of course, in Bedfordshire. And Deborah, I'm very excited, is in the studio for me now, which is very nice. Hello, Deborah, how are you?
Good morning, it's wonderful to be here.
Thank you so much for being on the show. So why poetry?
Why poetry?
Yeah.
Poetry is a powerful medium for so many different things. It's good for well-being, it's good for communication, it's good for all kinds of raising awareness. It's a way in which we're able to travel inside, just like any medium of art, the way we're able to travel inside and bring out those emotions. You know, art is a dynamic explosion of emotion, you know.
Is it, half the battle is breaking what people expect poetry to be. So I'm of a certain age, right? And you say poetry to me, whenever we were in school and went, time for poetry, I'd go, oh, yawns, Phil, and then I would go to sleep and then wake up an hour later when the class was done. But poetry is not dull. It's if done well and read well and written well, it's amazing stuff, isn't it?
Anything and everything is poetry, because anything that you're expressing your emotions is poetry. One of the things that Gyles made very clear when this project was launched, and he brought me in as a poetry champion for Bedfordshire, is that we are moving away from the middle class idea of what poetry is.
Yeah.
It's moving away from these strict rules, strict structures. It's about expression. It's about giving the people the freedom to express. A text is poetry if you're expressing an emotion.
Yeah.
It really is that simple. And what I do with words is more word mechanics. It's about the phonics of words. So I use poetry for well-being. I use narrative psychology, so it's restoring, reauthoring. But it's also about listening to the words that we say to each other and understanding that sometimes words can be understood and interpreted on many different levels and felt in different ways. So in terms of like well-being, the word depressed, for example, is both the diagnosis and the cure if you listen to it phonically, because depressed sounds like deep rest. So it's using words and using language in ways that isn't always explored or seen in this ways. It's about anagrams and lexicograms, and it's about the coded messages within words, like be you to the full sounds like beautiful.
Look at that. Clever, that is. Very Radio 4, this is. Okay, now I understand there's a theme every year.
Yes.
Right? What is the theme for this year?
So this theme this year is friendship. So it's open to anything. It's the only rules with this competition is it's multi-generations. So it's over 70s, under 18s, working and creating poetry together to perform in whatever medium they wish to perform in that way. But the theme is friendship, and it is about friendship across, the Commonwealth. It's across diverse cultures, diverse backgrounds, diverse people. It's about what does friendship mean to you. Think about, any piece of art is understood in both it's created in the mind of the author, but it's also created in the mind of the person that's reading it. So in your poem, you're just reaching out to someone anyway, just by them reading it across time, across space.
You are a poet yourself, a well-known poet, a very famous poet. Is it easy to do? Is it something that poetry just hits you, or do you have to focus your mind, or can it happen at any time for you when you're writing your poetry?
When I write, for me, it's very free-flowing. Words for me are energies, they're sound waves, so I work in cymatic frequencies, so I feel them. When it comes to other people and they're creating poetry, the launch of these workshops, I literally had people get into a space, into like an internal space, have an emotion, have a feeling, write down the adjectives, and then share papers so that other people wrote their poems for them. Everyone connected. It's just about connecting people's emotions and letting it flow out and not having order. Because
that's the thing. When we were taught poetry at school, right, we were told it was da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. And it isn't. It could, as you've mentioned, it could just go and just let it take over yourself, really.
Conversation is poetry. Think about all of the rap memes. Raps are poetry.
Yeah.
All rappers are poets, not all poets are rappers. It really is that. So you think about everything that's done with words. Think about greeting cards. Think about memes.
There is a fantastic, and this is so niche, so forgive me. There's a program called Fish Town, and it's about a documentary they do about a fishing town in Devon, Cornwall, I think. And the kind of like the presenter, who you never see, but he links the pieces by doing poetry, and it's just
It's
amazing.
Awesome. When poetry is done well, you don't even know it's poetry.
Yes, yeah.
Because poetry is spoken word. That's it.
Yeah.
It's nothing more than that. Or it can be written word. But you think about oral history, words are said to be spoken. We're expressive as human beings. When we are expressing, we are telling poetry.
And these workshops that you do, obviously very popular and go down the storm. And I presume you get all walks of life?
Everybody. It's open to everybody. We're at Wardown House Museum and Gallery in Wardown Park, but we're also doing the Pilgrim Poetry Walks, which is part of the Bedfordshire Together. So we're walking the Bunyan Trail and we're doing poetry workshops along, it's broken into 10 sections, so it's 10 walks, but we're doing poetry workshops along the walk, because what we're trying to do is visit every place, every town, every landscape within Luton, and creating in Bedfordshire, and creating a poem together. So we are multiple voices, we are multiple people, we are so diverse, but we are creating one poem together, one voice, one song, multiple people.
Two things, because I've got to wrap it up, and I could talk to you all morning, Hetty. If people want to find out more about what you're doing and all of this, where do they need to go?
The best place to go is to Eventbrite. All of our links are under a collection. If you search for 9 Red Presents, you will literally see, because all the events are hosted by my company. So if you look for 9 Red Presents on Eventbrite, you'll literally see the collection of the Bedfordshire Together and Poetry Together workshops. They kick off on Monday the 2nd. Yeah. They are every Monday at Wardown House Museum and Gallery. Okay. And the launch, the walks start on the 21st of September, and it's literally across the Bunyan Trail, and you will see press for details. Literally, you'll know our locations.
I love this. And also, and I'm sorry to throw you with this, you couldn't give us a little burst, 30 seconds of something?
Yeah, I'll give you a really short poem.
Go on.
Literally, it's just about diversity in Luton and how that brings us together. So, it's called Friendship's Tapestry in Luton's Embrace. In Luton's vibrant and diverse embrace, where Chiltern Hills lend their calming grace, a post-industrial town of unity, where friendship blooms in rich diversity. In this ex-mill town of complex lore, we find strength in the bonds we explore. Amidst Bedfordshire's countryside fair, we weave a tapestry beyond compare. Through laughter, tears and heartfelt sighs, beneath these skies our friendships rise. In this tapestry of souls interwoven, friendships beauty stands as love unbroken. In Luton's heart, friendships take flight, transcending all differences, shining bright. In the shadow of the Chiltern Hills embrace, our friendships bloom with unwavering grace. So here's to the friendships we hold dear, where cultures interweave without fear. Amid the hills and Bedfordshire's embrace, friendship in Luton finds its place.
Deborah, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you to the studio and to chat with you. We wish you all the very best.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute joy. Thank you so much indeed. Time now to find out what's happening with the weather in Beds, Herts and Bucks. Good morning to you, Corsa.
Good morning, Andy. Well, plenty of fine, dry weather in the forecast for the next day or two. So today, too, plenty of sunshine out there. Just a few areas of cloud in places, light winds. A bit fresher than yesterday, though, with highs of 19 to 22 Celsius. Some late sunshine, clear skies overnight, and there'll be some patches of mist and fog forming, too, with the lows of 7 to 10 degrees. Then tomorrow, plenty of sunshine once again. A few areas of cloud passing through at times. A gentle easterly wind tomorrow, and temperatures 21 to 24 Celsius. A bit more uncertain for the weekend. Saturday does look like it should be dry, but more in the way of cloud around, and the chance of some rain arriving up from the south during Sunday morning, but turning drier and brighter later. Some uncertainty, so do keep up to date with the forecast. That's it for now.
Corsa, thank you very much indeed.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Team, what a lovely guest that was to have in the studio. Deborah Knight, poetry champion for this particular project, and it's organised several poetry events starting next week in Bedfordshire. It's called Poetry Together. It's a national initiative spearheaded by Gyles Brandreth, and it aims to bring communities together through poetry. Lovely to have her in the studio.
Brilliant.
Poetry never been my thing, but when it's done by people as talented as Deborah, and in fact, I get lost in it. Two things. I don't know if you've ever seen Dame Judi Dench every now and again. It's on the socials. She does like sonnets, Shakespearean sonnets. Yeah. Amazing. Right? Fishtown on BBC Two. Check that out. I love Fishtown. I love that, watching that in the afternoon. And all I could think about when talking to Deborah was poetry. I've got poetry. If she asked me, I've got one.
Have you got one?
I knew a girl called Sweaty Betty, but I don't know about. Can't do that.
That's not